you guys have been around us for a while, you know that we like to acquire family, and we've acquired a great family in the Klocks. The Klocks have worked with us for the last couple of years. We've been doing some projects. I'd like to introduce Brian Klock over here. Brian runs a great shop, Klockworks, out of Mitchell, South Dakota. This family, if you don't know them, they're land speed racers, customizers, made fantastic motorcycles, and are absolutely some of the nicest, most humble people out there. And certainly in the motorcycle business, but just in life, I think. So, now you got to step it up, right? You don't have to grab the bill from Steve today. All right, so this motorcycle over here is the Klock Rhodes. That is a motorcycle that was revealed 6 weeks ago, just 6 weeks ago, in Long Beach. And that is a bike that was customized based on the hardball, which is the highball bagger over there. So what do we ask him to do? Hey, we got another show 6 weeks later. Why don't you say, let's knock out another motorcycle real quick. But this bike is really, that's a neat custom motorcycle for the sake of being a cool custom motorcycle. But this bike actually has a big story behind it, and I'd like Brian to tell that story a little bit.
This is the point when your heart's beating through your chest and you don't really know what to say. This one might be a little tough for me. Young man named Vic Briggs, 29 years old, at my shop last summer got killed in a car accident. Vic was the kid who would stand there at Bonneville all day and hold that umbrella, make sure somebody had a water, whatever he had to do. He just loved being a part of the industry. And Victory called and said, hey, we saw you put out that blurb because it was Klockworks, this is Vic. So we had to tell people right away. He was the first one to answer the phone. He was anxious to get to talk to any of you. They said, hey, we want to help out. What we like to do is we see that Vic has 4 young kids that he left behind, a 9-year-old, 2 7-year-old twin girls, and a 1-year-old. All their names begin with BR. Okay, so they call them the BR kids. It's Brittany, Brandy, Bryson, the whole deal, Brooke. And fast forward to, they give us a kingpin so we can raise some funds for Vic's family. What we did was we teamed up with the folks at Donate Life. Vic was an organ donor. His heart saved a 14-year-old boy who they said had 2 weeks to live. We also dedicate this motorcycle to Austin Sheeman's family. He was a 19-year-old boy who died 2 years prior. Another close friend of our family's. My wife was like a second mother to this kid. And sure enough, his name's on here as well. His heart is actually beating in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and we got to go listen to his heart. That was a tough day for us. But through organ donorship, people can carry on. And through the great works of all the people you see around here in the black and white shirts, the folks at Victory, they're not only the Mavericks taking on the entire industry, but they have an incredible heart and passion for motorcycles, whether it's the military or whether a great project like this. This kingpin is near and dear to me, obviously, and you'll see the number 29 on it. Vic was 29. Ironically enough, there's a greater good above this all that has a power over us. Austin Sheeman's family raced cars. Had no idea until I got a call from his mom after sending her a sneak peek of the bike. Every car they've ever raced had number 29 on it. So this bike is 29. This thing is, I'm not supposed to go this long, sorry. I'm a little emotional about this. It's a huge deal. It's a 2009 Kingpin. It's got inverted forks. He said just go ahead, so I'm going to go ahead. It's a 2009 Kingpin. Normally people see this as a cruiser bike. Vic was never the cruiser guy. He would steal my sport bikes or anything he'd get his hands on. We used Vortex clip-ons. We took the factory gauge, put it into the headlight, took one of our Klockworks fenders, painted it with the BR Kids logo. The inverted front end lends itself to sport bike. We added a second brake from the folks at Victory. We made a pipe for it using older-style Kirker canister that we got from those guys. Vic was a tattoo artist. All these tattoos are Vic's tattoos that we incorporated into the paint job. This is his signature Vic Briggs. You can see the Donate Life logo. We also made Joe Milkey and Rob Roll from Downey Smith's Custom up in Minneapolis built a handmade steel piece here for the tail section on the stock frame, so nothing's been cut on this bike. It's something anybody can do at home with their own Kingpin. The tail light's actually out of a Hammer, another Victory model. You'll see the Vortex clip-ons we used. We blacked out a bunch of the pieces. These are normally just cast. We gloss blacked them to add a little bit. We also used a Stratasys rapid prototyper to rapid prototype all of our parts. And again, like I said, we tightened up the cables with Barnett cables, brushed all the levers in the ends, and literally just took a bike that is already there and made it cooler. These bikes ride and work great. ride one and you own one.
Thanks very much. It's really a great motorcycle. Let's get a photo op if we could. Brian, would you just stand right up here? Any of the photographers? You shaking? You all right? I want to thank Brian, and if you ever get to meet Brian, his fabulous wife Laura, and their kids, you can run into them out at the Salt Flats, and they're just awesome folks. So we thank them for doing that. We encourage you guys to get detailed shots for that. At this time, I'd like to thank you, Brian, very much for doing that, man. Good job.
We're going to raffle this thing off for Vic's kids starting on March 1st. You can buy raffle tickets at www.custombaggers.com. We'll give it away at Biketoberfest in Daytona in October. That was Vic's favorite trip. Thank you.
So this bike is going to end up in somebody's garage. It's important to get that raffle message out there. We really appreciate you guys helping us out with that. So once again, between March all the way to Biketoberfest, there's an opportunity for somebody to take this motorcycle home and really continue the legacy that Vic has left behind, courtesy of Clockwork. So thank you very much. I want to take this time to recognize another custom builder in the audience right here, Zach Ness. Put your hand up, Zach. Put both of them up. Oh, Simon didn't say. You're out of here. So Zach Ness is here. Zach is actually going to be revealing a custom version of the new production motorcycle, which is right over here, and that's our next reveal, okay? So Zach's going to be doing that tomorrow at noon when the Gunny comes in. The Gunny challenged Zach to build a custom one of these. Zach has did it, and we've done it, and we're going to deliver that tomorrow at high noon. So I want to